Unleashing the hidden power of your pen. How journaling can transform your life and shape future generations. Welcome to the Black CEO Podcast. I'm your host, and today we're about to embark on a journey that could revolutionize the way you think about personal growth, legacy, and the power of the written word. We recently had the extraordinary privilege of interviewing Carmen Green, a visionary thinker and transformational coach who's been making waves in the world of personal development. Carmen's groundbreaking work on the transformative power of journaling isn't just changing lives, it's reshaping the very fabric of how we understand personal growth and intergenerational connection. Her insights are nothing short of revolutionary, and I promise you, by the end of this talk, you'll never look at a blank page the same way again. Now, I know what you're thinking. Journaling? Really? Isn't that just something angsty teenagers do? Well, buckle up, because we're about to shatter every preconception you've ever had about putting pen to paper. What if I told you that the simple act of journaling could be the key to not only transforming your own life, but also leaving an indelible mark on generations to come? That's right. We're not just talking about personal growth here. We're talking about creating a legacy that transcends time. Let's start with the hard truth. We're living in an age of disconnection. Despite all our technology, our social media, our constant connectivity, we're more isolated than ever. We're losing touch with ourselves, with our roots, with our stories. And in this vacuum, we're seeing rising rates of anxiety, depression, and a general sense of purposelessness. But what if the antidote to this modern malaise was something as simple as putting pen to paper? Think about it for a moment. How much do you really know about your great grandparents? Their hopes, their dreams, their struggles. For most of us, these stories are lost to time, swallowed up by the relentless march of progress. But what if they had kept journals? What if you could read their words, understand their thoughts, and learn from their experiences? Imagine the connection, the understanding, the sense of belonging that could create. Now, I can almost hear the skeptics among you. Come on, you're thinking, it's just writing. How powerful can it really be? Well, let me share a story that might change your mind. A few years ago, a group of executives in a high pressure tech firm were struggling with burnout and lack of direction. They were successful by all outward measures, but inside, they felt empty, disconnected from their purpose. As part of a company wide initiative, they were asked to spend just 5 minutes each morning journaling about their intentions for the day and their long term vision. At first, many were skeptical. They had spreadsheets to review, emails to send, meetings to attend. Who had time for journaling? But they gave it a shot, and what happened next was nothing short of extraordinary. After just 3 months, the transformation was undeniable. Not only did they report increased productivity and better decision making, but there was a fundamental shift in how they approached their work and their lives. They rediscovered their sense of purpose. They reconnected with their core values. They started making decisions that aligned with their true selves, not just what looked good on paper. One participant, let's call him John, shared a particularly powerful experience. He had been on the verge of quitting, feeling trapped in a role that no longer fulfilled him. But through his daily journaling practice, he realized that his dissatisfaction wasn't with the job itself, but with how he had been approaching it. He had lost sight of why he entered the field in the first place, his passion for innovation and creating products that improve people's lives. Armed with this newfound clarity, John didn't quit. Instead, he initiated a conversation with his superiors about realigning his role with his strengths and passions. The result? A new position was created for him, one that allowed him to focus on the aspects of the work he loved most. His productivity soared, his job satisfaction skyrocketed, and he became a driving force for positive change within the company. Now, imagine this kind of transformation happening not just in your career, but in every aspect of your life. Imagine the ripple effects this could have on your relationships, your community, and even future generations. This brings us to the first key insight from Carmen's work. Honesty is essential. Now, you might be thinking, of course, I'm honest in my journal. Who am I going to lie to? Myself. But here's the thing. True honesty in journaling goes beyond just telling the truth. It's about being completely unfiltered in your expression of thoughts, feelings, and experiences. This kind of raw, unvarnished honesty can be uncomfortable at first. We're so used to presenting a polished version of ourselves to the world that the idea of being totally open, even in private, can feel strange. But it's in this honesty that the real magic happens. When you allow yourself to be truly vulnerable on the page, you start to confront fears you didn't even know you had. You process emotions that you've been pushing down. You uncover truths about yourself that have been hiding just below the surface. Let me share another story that illustrates the power of this kind of honesty. Sarah, a successful entrepreneur, had always prided herself on her strength and resilience. She built her business from the ground up, overcoming countless obstacles along the way. But despite her outward success, she felt a gnawing emptiness inside. When Sarah started journaling, she initially wrote about her achievements, her goals, her strategies for growth. But as she continued the practice, something shifted. She found herself writing about her fears, her insecurities, the moments of doubt that she never allowed herself to acknowledge, let alone express. One day, she wrote about a childhood memory, a moment when she felt small, insignificant, overlooked. As she wrote, tears streamed down her face. She realized that much of her drive for success had been fueled by a deep seated fear of being invisible, of not mattering. This realization was painful, but it was also liberating. It allowed her to start healing old wounds, to reframe her relationship with success, and to build a business and a life that was truly aligned with her authentic self. This kind of honesty doesn't just benefit you. When future generations read your words, they're not looking for a sanitized, perfect version of your life. They're looking for real human experiences that they can relate to. Your honesty becomes a gift to them, a way of saying, look, life isn't always easy, but here's how I navigated it. Now, let's move on to the second key insight. Journaling fosters gratitude and resilience. This might seem counterintuitive at first. After all, isn't journaling often associated with venting frustrations or working through problems? Well, yes, it can be, but it's also an incredibly powerful tool for shifting your perspective and focusing on the positive aspects of life. Here's how it works. When you make a habit of recording daily moments of joy, appreciation, or even lessons learned from hardships, you start to train your brain to notice these things more often. It's like you're creating a gratitude muscle, and the more you use it, the stronger it gets. Over time, this practice can lead to a profound shift in your overall outlook on life. But it's not just about feeling good. This focus on gratitude and resilience has real tangible benefits. Studies have shown that people who regularly practice gratitude experience improved mental health, better sleep, and even stronger immune systems. And resilience, well, that's like your superpower for navigating life's challenges. Let me share another powerful example. A group of healthcare workers battling on the front lines during the height of the pandemic was struggling with unprecedented levels of stress and burnout. They were witnessing unimaginable suffering day after day, and it was taking a toll on their mental health. As part of a wellness initiative, they were encouraged to spend just 5 minutes at the end of each shift journaling about three things they were grateful for. Many were skeptical at first. How could they find things to be grateful for in the midst of such chaos and pain? But as they persisted with the practice, something remarkable happened. They started noticing small moments of beauty and kindness amidst the hardship, a patient smile, a colleague's support, a moment of unexpected calm. These moments had always been there, but the act of consciously looking for them and writing them down made them more vivid, more impactful. Over time, this simple practice became a lifeline. It didn't erase the challenges they faced, but it gave them the strength to keep going, to find meaning in their work, even on the darkest days. Many reported that this journaling practice not only helped them cope with the stress of their work, but also transformed how they approached their personal lives. One nurse shared that she had started teaching this gratitude journaling practice to her patients, especially those facing long term illnesses. The impact was profound. Patients reported feeling more hopeful, more connected to their loved ones, and better able to cope with their treatments. This is the power of journaling for gratitude and resilience. It's not just about making yourself feel better, although that's certainly a benefit. It's about fundamentally changing how you interact with the world around you, how you process challenges, and how you find meaning in your experiences. And here's where it gets really interesting. When you journal about gratitude and resilience, you're not just helping yourself, you're creating a roadmap for future generations. Imagine your great grandchild facing a challenge similar to one you've overcome. They open your journal and read about how you navigated that difficult time, how you found things to be grateful for, even in the darkest moments. That's not just a story, it's a lifeline. Now, let's move on to the third key insight, and this one's a game changer. Journaling shapes your life. It's not just a record of what happens to you, it's a tool for actively creating the life you want. When you write, you're not just processing the past, you're living intentionally in the present and planning for the future. Think about it this way: writing gives structure to your thoughts and emotions. It's like taking all the swirling, chaotic energy in your mind and channeling it onto the page. This process alone can be incredibly cathartic, but it goes beyond that. When you write about your goals, your dreams, your plans, you're not just recording them, you're making them more real. You're taking the first step towards making them happen. There's a fascinating psychological principle at play here called the Zeigarnik effect. Basically, it states that people remember uncompleted or interrupted tasks better than completed ones. When you write down a goal or a plan, you're creating an open loop in your mind. Your brain wants to close that loop, which motivates you to take action. But it's not just about goal setting. Writing your story allows you to reframe your experiences. Maybe you've been through something difficult. When you write about it, you have the power to shape the narrative. You can choose to focus on what you learned, how you grew, how it made you stronger. This isn't about denying the pain or difficulty of an experience. It's about finding meaning in it, about using it as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. Let me share one final story that illustrates the life shaping power of journaling. Michael, a young man from a disadvantaged background, had always dreamed of becoming a lawyer, but growing up, he was surrounded by voices telling him it wasn't possible, that people like him didn't become lawyers. On a whim, Michael started journaling. At first, he just wrote about his day to day life, his frustrations, his dreams. But as he continued, something shifted. He started writing as if he was already a successful lawyer. He described the cases he would take on, the people he would help, the change he would make in his community. This daily practice of visualizing and writing about his future self began to change how Michael saw himself and his possibilities. He started taking concrete steps towards his goal, researching law school, seeking out mentors, studying for the LSAT. It wasn't easy, and there were many setbacks along the way, but each time he faced an obstacle, he returned to his journal, reminding himself of his vision, processing his emotions, and planning his next steps. Today, Michael is not only a successful lawyer, but he's also a mentor to young people from similar backgrounds, showing them that their dreams are within reach. And it all started with a pen and a blank page. This is the transformative power of journaling. It's not just about recording your life, it's about actively shaping it. It's about creating a vision for your future and then bringing that vision to life, one word at a time. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. This all sounds great, but I'm not a writer. I wouldn't even know where to start. Well, here's the beautiful thing about journaling: there are no rules. You don't have to be a great writer. You don't have to write pages and pages every day. You don't even have to write in full sentences if you don't want to. The key is to just start. Start small if you need to. Maybe it's just 5 minutes a day. Maybe it's just 3 sentences. The important thing is to make it a habit. Like any skill, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And here's a little secret: the act of writing itself can be transformative. There's something almost magical about the connection between your hand, the pen, and the paper. It's like you're physically transferring your thoughts and emotions onto the page. This process can be incredibly cathartic and clarifying. But what if you're more of a digital person? That's fine too. There are plenty of journaling apps and online platforms available. The important thing is to find a method that works for you, that you'll stick with. Now, let's talk about the long term impact of journaling. Carmen shared some insights about what you might expect after a year of consistent journaling. And let me tell you, it's pretty amazing. People who journal regularly report greater clarity about their goals and priorities. They make better decisions. They have improved emotional resilience. They're better able to handle stress and challenges. But perhaps most importantly, they have a tangible record of their growth. Imagine being able to look back over a year of your life and see how far you've come, the obstacles you've overcome, the lessons you've learned. That kind of perspective is invaluable. And here's where it gets really exciting: journaling can be a springboard to other forms of writing. Many people find that their journals provide rich material for memoirs, creative nonfiction, or even fiction. Your personal experiences, when reflected upon and processed through journaling, can become the seeds of powerful stories that resonate with others. But even if you never share your writing with anyone else, the act of journaling itself is transformative. It's a way of bearing witness to your own life, of saying, I was here. This is what I experienced. This is what I learned. It's a way of honoring your own journey. And let's not forget about the impact on future generations. Your journals could become family heirlooms passed down through the years. They could provide insight, comfort, and connection to people you'll never meet. In a very real sense, your words could achieve a kind of immortality. So here's my challenge to you. It's time to pick up that pen, open that notebook, and start writing your story. Not tomorrow, not next week, but right now, in this very moment. Because every moment you delay is a moment of potential growth, insight, and connection loss. Ask yourself, what stories do I have to tell? What insights can I share? What lessons have I learned that might help someone else? How can I use journaling to not just transform my own life, but to leave a meaningful legacy for future generations? Remember, your story matters. Your experiences, your thoughts, your feelings, they all have value. By putting them down on paper, you're not just helping yourself, you're potentially helping countless others. This isn't just about personal growth. This is about creating a ripple effect that could change lives for generations to come. It's about building bridges across time, connecting your present self with your future self, and connecting your life story with the stories of those who will come after you. So, I challenge you. Commit to journaling for the next 30 days, just 5 minutes a day. See what happens. Notice how it changes your perspective, your decision making, your relationships. Pay attention to how it helps you process your emotions, clarify your thoughts, and shape your future. And as you write, remember this: every word you put down is a step towards a better understanding of yourself, a clearer vision of your future, and a lasting legacy that could inspire and guide others long after you're gone. The pen is in your hand. The page is before you. Your story is waiting to be written. What will you do with this power? How will you use it to transform your life and the lives of others? The choice is yours. The time is now. Start writing and let the transformation begin.